Hello. Hi, Erin.
Hi, I see, all I see is your camera. Oh, there you go. There you go. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna blur my background. I don't know how that got switched. Probably Frank did it.
Yeah,
I'm very good. How are you?
just doing fine, thanks. Yeah, busy day, but
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, just stuff.
No traveling right now?
No, not until the 24th of March. And then I'm going to LA. And from there, while I'm there in LA, going to Hawaii. I think maybe I told you, I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
remember if I told. Yeah,
Yeah, with
yeah.
your granddaughter?
Granddaughter, son and daughter-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have never been. Have you been to Hawaii?
Yeah, twice.
Ah, I've never been, so it's
Yeah.
about
We had
time.
a we had a trip planned for some anniversary. I don't remember which one now. Could have been, I don't remember. And we had it planned for May for our anniversary, and we were going to. I couldn't pick an island or one or two islands, and I I didn't know which one I would like. So we chose to go into Honolulu for like 3 days, and then we did a cruise, a Norwegian cruise. So, what I liked about this cruise, I'm not a cruise person, but I liked about this cruise was that each island that you went to after Honolulu, you got to spend a night there. So you
Oh,
had really two
nice.
days. We were able to rent a car. So we saw three other islands and the Big Island, Kauai, and Maui.
How did
And
you
we
like Kauai?
loved it. It was my favorite. That was
That's
my
where
favorite.
we're
I
going.
mean,
Yeah,
Maui's good too, but Maui's a little bit more commercial. I think Kauai's a little quieter,
yeah.
but I like the Big Island too. We went to Kona and we went to Hilo. It was nice. But before I took that trip, we already had the trip booked and planned. A friend of mine couldn't use tickets to see U2 in Hawaii. And he said, "Oh, you want my tickets to U2?" I'm like, "Yeah, right, sure." And I came
Okay.
home and my son was living at home and he was in college in Boston, but I think he was living at home at that point. He walked in the door. I go, because Pearl Jam was playing with U2 at this concert. Both Pearl Jam was ending a world tour. U2 had been on a world tour and had to uh, interrupt it for a family issue. They never did explain why. I think it was like one of the guitarist's wife maybe got sick or a child or something. They never explained why they postponed part of their tour. But when they were able to come back together, they decided to. The last show of their tour was going to be in Hawaii, and it happened to coincide when Pearl Jam was going to be there. So they decided to do Pearl Jam and U2. So Pearl Jam is my son's favorite band, and U2 is my favorite band. And this was like September, October. My friend told me, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I told my son, oh, let's get these tickets and go to Hawaii. She goes, okay, Ma, sure. And then I want to say like a month or two later, my friend said, I still have these tickets. No one's taken them yet if you want them. So my husband said, well, what's it going to cost? Find out what it'll cost to get an airfare, get a hotel, and you and Matthew go. And we ended up going really cheap. Like I can't even believe how cheap. Like the airfare was $400 round trip. I thought,
Oh,
which
come
was nothing,
on.
right?
Oh,
And we had like a layover in Minneapolis or something. And then we stayed at the airport, a Holiday Inn airport at the hotel. I mean, excuse me, a Holiday Inn hotel at the airport. And we weren't looking for a big beach vacation kind of place. We
right.
didn't need romance or anything like that. So we went there, and I think we flew out on a Friday. The concert was Saturday night. My friend's son and his college roommate had two tickets to the show as well. So, and I knew my friend's son, so we picked them up and took them to the concert. Sunday, we just tooled around and hung out at the beach. No, Sunday we tooled around the island. Monday we hung out at the beach, and Monday night we flew home and got like on a red eye. Got home Tuesday morning, and I had scheduled myself to work. And I got in that day, and
Oh,
my boss said, "Yeah, go home." He just gave me the day off, and
you're
had me
not
to.
doing us any good, Joni.
No, I was doing fine actually. He
Oh,
just
yeah,
was like, "You're ridiculous. Go home."
yeah,
He was just being
yeah,
really nice, being really
yeah.
nice. So we ended up going for 4 days to go see U2 and Pearl Jam.
Oh my gosh. Well, my
And it's a trip
granddaughter,
of a lifetime. I mean, it's
yeah.
just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, yeah. My
And I'd go
granddaughter,
back too, but
yeah, yeah. No, as I said, I've never been. It was on my list
and
of
you've been
things
all
to do.
over.
Well, yeah, well, still places to see and things to do. But anyway,
Always.
so Yeah, I'm excited. So I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
My
people
friend,
are
actually,
trying
one of my best friends is, she lives in, the one who lives out in Dana Point. She and her husband are
yeah.
there now.
Ah,
They're probably coming home in a few days. They've been there over a week now. But
yeah.
it's easy. I mean, it's a lot. It's as easy to go there as it is to come to Boston from them. You know.
Right. Well, my kids had originally planned for this 2-week vacation that my granddaughter's having from school. They had planned to go to Ireland, and then they realized, number one, it was a lot farther for them to go to Ireland from LA,
A lot.
and it was going to be rainy and cold there at
Yeah.
this. So they decided Hawaii, and my son called and said, "You want to go with us?" And I said, "Well, yeah, yeah." So
Of
that's how
course.
that came about.
Check my emails.
Yeah.
Lately, the last couple of weeks, people have been sending emails, and I've logged on and I don't see them. So, like, if they're
All I
having
did
trouble,
was go in, I just went into Zoom and used your ID
right?
and password. Yeah,
And not everybody likes to do that, but
yeah,
I don't know why I set it up with a registration thing. I can certainly change that, but that seems to be what's hanging people
yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, they're looking at the registration and maybe not going down to see the passcode and the
Well,
one of
aren't
my
you?
friends.
So again, because I set it up, I can't do it. But I thought that once you got the registration, you did your first name, last name, email, hit confirm or whatever. I thought then Zoom sent you the link. I thought that's
No,
how,
I
but you
just,
don't do it that way. You don't register. You just use the passcode. I mean, the
yeah,
meeting ID and passcode.
right. I went in to
You saved
register
it.
and I thought that was going to be too cumbersome. So I had the ID and the
Yeah.
passcode, and I just went into my Zoom account and did that.
Well, one of the people who was having trouble, I said to them, you should go into your spam folder and make sure that they're not going to spam or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah, right.
So I don't know. We'll see if that works for people.
Yeah. A lot of people seem to be having some issues with their emails and I don't know what's going on, but anyway,
Well, I know you are because you've got
yeah.
the Comcast email, but did you switch it to like a Gmail or something?
I'm in Gmail. I called Comcast today and the guy couldn't believe I was using Outlook 2007. He said, "You need to update it." And that would have been a different email address. I said, "Okay, I'm just going to stick with my Gmail now and go with it."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. I
although
see.
I tried to
Hi,
get
Dick.
into, oh, hi,
Joni, I already,
Hi. People are
hi,
Hello,
logged
Leo.
in, but
everybody.
not everybody's audio and video is on. So I'm sure they'll come
Maybe
in
they're finishing
eventually.
up dinner.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
exactly right, Erin.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank,
I don't have my
love that.
video on because I'm eating my dinner at my desk.
Okay.
Nobody
I do
wants to
that
see
on
me chew.
I do that on Tuesday night sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm doing exactly the same, eating dinner at my desk.
That's funny. Very funny. How you doing, Dick?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Joni?
Pretty good. Pretty
Good.
good. Frank, I love that elephant picture, man. That's
I
beautiful.
do too.
Thank
Really
you.
beautiful. Did you do it at your house?
No, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mickey.
I'm having peripheral problems tonight. I wanted to make sure my audio was working. No, the Greater Lynn Photographic Society.
Oh, right. I remember they had that.
One of those shoots, and I forget the lady's name. I've got it written down somewhere. She has this setup, which is a large computer screen, about a 25-inch computer screen in a black box with a mirror table
Mm-hmm.
beneath it. And she brings all these glass figurines and so on. And you can just set things, you can pick your background. She's got a choice of about 20 or 25 different backgrounds that you can pick. So you pick your background and then you pick your figurines and you arrange them however you want and you play with it.
The background is on the computer screen, like you just choose them through the screen.
The yeah, you can see the horizontal line in the middle.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's the computer screen is above that, and then it's reflected onto the glass table, the mirror table where
Now,
you,
sometimes that line bugs me, but in this one, because it's elephants, like you see the pictures in the desert where they're at the camels are at the top of the sand dune. It's almost
Uh-huh.
like a horizon there. So it gives it kind of depth, I guess, maybe.
yeah. It was,
You're gonna what can you watch the room to admit your co-host, right?
yeah, I will. Let me just open my
Because
participant.
there's not a ton of people here, only 12 right now, but I
Oh.
expect people to jump in, but I do want to get started.
Yeah. So
Again,
anyway,
I think there's a lot to go through tonight, but last week we went so quick, I couldn't believe it.
yeah. Joni, I want to thank you for sending those last JPEGs of the keyboard shortcuts.
Oh, yeah.
Until I received those from you, I didn't realize that no matter what module you're in Lightroom, you can click on help and open up the shortcuts that apply to that particular module. That's a really cool option.
Right. I didn't know that either, to be honest with you, or I would have shared it with you. Let's see. Okay, so people are slowly coming in. I'll try to remember to say this again at the end of the evening, but I'll say, hi, Alan. I'll say it now too. Next week, we are not meeting. Next week is be prepping for my wonderful procedure that we probably all have had. So I'll be busy Monday night. Alan had recommended that I assign a homework for everybody. So I thought, well, maybe a good homework assignment would be to, especially because we're doing it tonight, make a collection and put it, sync it to Lightroom Creative Cloud and play with that a little bit. Because that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do tonight.
Lightroom Creative Cloud is not Lightroom Classic.
Correct. We'll show you the difference tonight.
Okay.
Joni, if I could quickly mention, since you're not going to be having this group next week, the Greater Lynn sent me an email, I think yesterday, which I'll be sharing with the club probably later tonight or tomorrow. There's a photo club up in Nova Scotia that is having a couple of webinars, one on March 13th, and I think the other one is April something. The one on March 13th next week, which runs from 6:30 to 8:30 our time, is going to be a National Geographic photographer talking about his roughly 8,000 kilometer trip around Iceland.
Oh, wow.
And then on the, I think it's April, a date in April, which I'll share with the club. Bobby Lane is going to be talking about doing portraiture. And
well, if it's a Monday night in April, I have 2 Monday nights that I'm away. So because we'll be at Orlando with the kids, so maybe it'll be luck out with that.
So those are both webinars that are going to be made available basically free of charge from the club up in Nova Scotia. So I'll share that with the club, but I just wanted to mention that tonight to this group.
Great.
Well, I have to say there's one good thing that has come out of this awful pandemic and everything is this new internet connection with everybody.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get us started. Tonight, we're working on collections, smart collections, and syncing to Lightroom Creative Cloud. And we'll go into that and the differences again a little bit later. I realized in preparing for the next couple of weeks, even though we don't have a class next week, that one thing I didn't incorporate is to really go through exporting. So I've added that. And the other thing I realized is that I gave us in our syllabus, if you will, a whole week to do menus, a whole week to do metadata, a whole week to do keywords. We've gone through those a little bit, and I thought, I think I can combine those into one night. So I've sort of cut down on the nights. But I also want to incorporate a week that, and maybe do this in 2 or 3 weeks. And I'll give you some heads up, but you can start to think about it now. If there's something that we've done already that just went completely over your head, importing, organizing, collections tonight, and you're like, oh, I would really like to spend, I have a specific question, or I have a general question that I just would like to go over this a little bit more. Or if there's something on your computer that doesn't look the same as mine and you want to share your screen, I mean, I think it's a wonderful way we can collaborate and work together. I feel like I'm going through this stuff so fast, and maybe I'm not, maybe I'm slower than my brain thinks I am. I know I talk fast. So I'm just afraid that some of this maybe people are just too polite to say, I don't get it, I don't understand, or they're embarrassed, or whatever it is. But I think a lot of people, I don't think if you're struggling with something, you're probably not the only one. And there's no shame. This is a huge program. There's a lot to it. We're going into some depth, but I don't always know everything. So I go, oh, I just do it this way because I'm not explaining 100% of everything I do. So if there's something that you need more out of this, please let me know, because we do have time. And again, if we end early, if we stop early, if we go later, it doesn't matter. There's no set thing. I can be flexible with this. So having said that, collections. What is a collection? We've seen in our, I'm gonna do this. We've seen in the left-hand panel, there is a category called collections. And when you open up the arrow, this is my regular catalog. This is not the SIG catalog that I typically use, because I already have so many collections in here. And I want to show you how this works with Lightroom Creative Cloud or Lightroom CC. I chose to use my full catalog tonight. I thought it was just more helpful. A collection is a group of photos that you put in a folder or an album. It's called a collection in Lightroom Classic, and it's called an album in Lightroom Creative Cloud for a specific purpose. You'll see the same collection no matter which module in. So we're in the library module now. If I go to develop, the collections are still, let's go here, let's go here. The collections are still here. Map, they're there. They're in all of them. Book, map, you wouldn't really need them. Book, they're there. Let's open this up. So they're in all the modules, because there's a couple of purposes for collections. I've talked about how I use them, but let me just say, you put them in a collection. Actually, let me go back to my collections. Will be in all the modules. I'm going to read a little bit so I don't miss anything tonight. The images that you put in a collection can be from the same folder, like this folder of my grandson, or from multiple folders. You don't have to use them just for one folder. And there's various ways you can get them into the collection. You're not actually moving the image. The image is staying wherever the image is on your hard drive. It's just Lightroom is making a saved folder of specific images for you to get to for a specific reason. My reason is usually to share with people in Lightroom Creative Cloud. Maybe I've done a family shoot, a portrait newborn, whatever it is, my son's baseball team, and I want to share those images with them. My edited images, I turn into a collection, I sync with Lightroom, and I have a link that I can share them with. You can create folders and a subfolder system, just like you can with your, let's see, friends and family. So here's a folder of friends and family, just like your regular folder system. You can do folders and subfolders in collections. So I have a folder, which is indicated by this box here. And when I close it up, it just gives me a shorter list when I close up these. But if I open up my friends and family, now I have, these are collections that I've created for various shoots that I've given category friends and family. I've got a travel one, I've got workshops, I've got Smart Collection Sky. So these are some folders that I've made. These are, they're actually called collection sets. That's a technical word. This is a collection set. So friends and family is a collection set, and within that I have several folders with collections.
So it's a similar, we can think of it as links on the internet, on the web. So they, if I understand it correctly, images are still in the same folder as before. It's just you link to those images in the collections.
If you sync them to Lightroom Creative Cloud, like this holiday banquet slideshow, this folder, this collection, I have not synced. You can see how next to the left side, there's little boxes here, and some of them have a little squiggle next to it in the box. So that means it's synced to the cloud. But if it doesn't have, if the box is open and there's no little lightning bolt or whatever mark next to it, it's not synced.
No, I'm not thinking about
I
syncing.
needed water, but you might need to add a little more. And I left the cup with a bag in it.
Andrea, can you turn your mic off, please?
Sorry.
That's okay. Say that again, Leo.
So I'm just thinking about analogy. So the files in your collections, the images in your collections are not actual files. It's just kind of links to your
right.
folders on the Lightroom.
It's just telling Lightroom, you're just telling Lightroom, take this collection these birds are all from various folders in different years that I've just made into a bird collection. So it's just saying, take this image and put it in. We'll show you how to do that in a minute, but take these images and add it to this collection. It's just like you're pointing to it. I wouldn't say it's a link.
Exactly. So it's like a link.
Yeah.
It's a pointer. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
That's the actual connotation. It is a pointer to the actual place where the photos residing.
I think as I go on, it'll probably be clearer because I have a couple of examples and different ways to say the same thing. So collections are a way to group photos into one place for easy viewing or for performing a specific task or variety of tasks. For example, you can assemble photos in a collection to use for a slideshow, which I did with this the holiday banquet slideshow. You can do it so that you're going to maybe print a set of photos. You're going to make a web photo gallery. So there's various reasons you might want to put something in a collection.
And you're going to show us how to do that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, let's see. Okay, let me just keep going, doing my thing. If you edit an image that's in a collection, it's editing the actual image in its original folder. And because you can have one image in more than one collection, wherever that image is, whatever collection it's in, it's being edited all exactly the same way. So let's say, if I have to remember where this photo is, let's say if I turn this photo into a black and white, and then I go into, I've got to remember, this is, what year did I do this? Go into my library and I'll go to the folder.
Johnny, you can right
Yes.
click on the image. You can
Yeah,
right
I
click
can.
on the image and
Yeah,
select, go
go to
to.
folder. Yep, I forgot about that. So here's the image. It's going to take a while because it's, but this is the image. Now when I'm in that folder, I actually change the image in that folder as well. And if I go to the develop module and I change it back and I go to my collections, and that was in, I don't remember which collection she's in. Oh, it was in the holiday banquet. So here she is in the holiday banquet collection, and I changed it back. So no matter where it is, you're changing that image, and even if it's in several different collections. I mean, if you want different versions of it, you can, make virtual copies, obviously. If you delete an image from a collection, you're not deleting it from the folder. You're not deleting it from every collection it's in. You're not deleting it from your hard drive. You're only removing it. So if you right click on this and I say remove from collection, it's still going to be in the folder or any other collection. I'm just removing it from this collection. So there's many reasons.
Question, Johnny.
Yep.
If you have a picture in a collection and it's in the other collections, and you want to make sure you're not editing, you're not changing the picture everywhere, can you make a virtual copy in the collection and edit that?
I would probably, yes, you can, but I don't, unless you want both images, both versions of that image in that collection, which I can't, I mean, you might, but my suggestion would be to go to the original folder, make the virtual copy, edit it the way you want, and then I'll show you how to add it to a collection in a couple of minutes.
But if you made a virtual copy in the collection, deleted the original out of your collection,
Yeah.
then the edited copy would only appear in the collection.
Correct. That's a good question. I would think it would also appear in the folder, in the original folder that it was stored in. But we can test that theory. Remind me if I forget at the end, okay?
I believe it does both. So if you make a virtual copy inside the collection, and you edit that and keep that in the collection and delete the original that it came from, it will remain in the collection, but send it back with the both images have a virtual and the original in the original spot.
All right, so let's do it so I don't forget. Here, we're in this collection, Holiday Banquet. I'm gonna make a virtual copy. And the copy, I'm gonna make a black and white. And now I'm going to go, let's go to the original just in case it doesn't do it. Go back here, show folder in library. It's this one. And this is the picture. And then there's the black and white. See on my film strip? It did make the virtual in the black and white. So we know it's in the original folder. So let's go back to the collection. And remove the original, remove from collections, and obviously it's not going to remove it from your folder. Should be able to show. So this is the 196. That's the original. That's still there. So it does make, if we would do a virtual copy in a collection, you're absolutely right, Mark. You can do what you want to do and then remove the original, and you still have the original. And I'm going to put this back in the collection. Not that I need it anymore. I really don't, but just because it makes me happy. And I'm going to go through this in a minute, but I'm making this the target collection. And then when I hit that goes back to the collection. And didn't put it in the right spot, but that's okay. Must put it at the end. I'm going to just move it back to the beginning. Not that it matters. The slideshow's all done. It's presented. I don't know why I'm being such an anal person about it and wasting your time. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for that. You learned something. So there again, there's many reasons to make collections. I've said that mostly I use it from all my 5-star images in a shoot that I want to share with somebody, or I want to put in the Creative Cloud for whatever reason. That's the reason that I use for it. But you can use this. Sorry. But you can also use it for, maybe you want to prefer your photos grouped by topic or genre, where you have them in your folder system by date, but you want to do a travel or like families and friends, and you want to have a particular topic or genre, so you make a folder to organize them that way as well. Maybe you're gathering all your best images for a portfolio review. Maybe you're working on a creative project over a long period of time. For example, when Alan was doing his rollerblading collection, or your merry-go-round collections. I mean, a good way to keep all those images as you go along, so you're taking them at various times at various places over a long period of time. You keep adding your finished ones to and build up your collection of those. Maybe you want to gather them for printing purposes, making a book, making a slideshow, things like that. There's another kind of a collection that we'll go into later, that you have an ongoing collection, a saved search called a SMART collection. And you use specific criteria, and they're always, Lightroom is always automatically adding to that collection if the images that you import follow that exact criteria. Then we'll do that later on. So how do you make the collection? In the collections folder, there's a plus sign. And when you click the plus sign, you click create collection. You can see that you can create a collection, a SMART collection, a collection set. Those are your three choices. So we're going to make a basic collection, and I'm trying to think of something. I'm just going to put LrC SIG examples. And I can choose to set this as the target collection. I can put this inside a collection set if I already have a set that I want to add it to. These are all my sets that I've made up. And if I don't, I can just leave it blank. If I have a group of photos selected, like this image is selected, I could automatically include it. I can set this as the target selection, and I can sync this with Lightroom. I can make all those decisions right here. So let's say we have
I have a question of that last selection. Can you go back, please?
Yep, of course.
Joni, I have a question too.
Go ahead, Alan.
Well, the first thing I want you to do is make a collection set from a collection.
Can I do that later, please? I'm going to go there.
Oh, okay. Bye.
I'm okay. Thanks. I thought we should start basic and then add to the basic information, if that's okay. So I created my Lightroom SIG, and I thought when I did it, I set it as target collection, but maybe I didn't. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to now set this as the target collection. And as I'm going through my photos, anything that I want to add, maybe I'm going to make I could have made this actually. I'll do it again later. I'll make another, but let me just say, I want to add this image. If I click the letter B, it says add to target collection. If I go back to that picture and hit B again, if you look quickly, it says remove from target collection. So that's how you add individual images from various folders, by clicking B to add. I've got automatic advance on, and click B to remove. If you want to know if an image is in the collection, if you go up to photo, the photo menu, and if it says add to target collection, you know it's not in the collection. So I can click add. And now when I'm in that image, if I go up to the photo, it says remove. So I know it's already in there.
Question, Joni?
Yep.
So the original picture will not be removed.
No.
Okay.
It's not. It's being removed from the collection. It's not being removed from Lightroom. It's not being removed from folder. It's not being deleted. I'm
library.
just okay. So we can see, and if you see the Lightroom SIG now, it has a little plus sign next to it to the right of the name. That means it's a collection. And I do have 2 pictures in there, and I didn't mean to put that in there. So I'm going to take B and take that out. So there's only 1 picture in the collection, but in that folder, now that I remember this stuff, in that folder, it's still there. Now, let's see. The other way that you can do this is if you have a whole bunch of pictures in a folder, maybe I want all of these images in this folder to go into that collection. I'll select them all and I can click the B. And one got removed and I bet the rest got added because one was already in there. Nope, none of them got added. Hold on. I thought you could do a bunch of them. Nope, you can't. I'm wrong. Okay, I'm gonna delete this collection and I'm gonna start a new collection. And I'm going to take these images. I'm going to select them all this time. So now I've got a group of images selected. So not just another way to make a collection. I'm going to hit the plus sign, create collection. And in here, I'll call this Falmouth. Once I can spell, did I spell it right? I did. I can include all the selected photos in this collection. I can set this as my target. And I can sync this to Lightroom. And we'll go there in a few minutes. So now you can see in my collections. I've got Falmouth is the target collection because it's a plus sign and I have all 8 images are there. If I want to make a whole set, let's say I want to make a collection set. And I'm going to call this, I don't think I have one. I'm going to call this black and white.
Joni,
So
can you
this is
explain what a collection set is?
Yep.
Before we create it? Please,
Yep.
thanks.
A collection set, all right, let's go back here. All of these that look like file folders, these are all collection sets. A collection set just has a group of collections within it. So I make calendars for my family every year. So the last 2 years, I have my 2022 photos that were in my 22 calendar, and these are the photos that were in my 2023. So every year, so it's just a way of a folder system so that I don't have all of these collections going down a mile down my left side of my computer screen. I can kind of organize them like I do sort of like you do, you have a base. Collection set is the base folder, and then within that you have collections, folders of collections.
So like it's a subset.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
subfolder.
Dumb question. Can you create collection sets of collection sets?
I believe you can, because when I just went to do this, I hit plus, create a collection set inside a collection set. So I can do it, it looks like I can. I don't know why I would want to. I guess if you had travel and then you wanted to do Europe and then you wanted to do Italy, France, I mean, you could go into that. You could do it that way if that's what you needed. I just haven't found a need for it myself, but I can see where you could do that. So a collection set in travel, and I named it Italy.
And then you can start a new one that's France.
Correct. So now in my travel, I have Italy, and in Italy, I might create a collection called Venice.
Yes, okay, I understand.
And it would be inside a collection set of Italy and set as a target, sync with Lightroom, etc.
Joni,
What do you
I think
mean?
this answers the
sync
question.
I'm sorry, Frank, just 1 second. Somebody else was asking. I don't know who it was.
What do you mean sync with Lightroom? You're already in Lightroom, so.
Okay, so I'm in Lightroom Classic. And Lightroom Classic is the program that we use to edit and organize our images by and large. There is another program that comes with the Adobe Creative Cloud, and we're going to do it later, by the end of the night. We're going to go into, this is Lightroom Classic, or what I call LrC. Then there's Lightroom Creative Cloud, Lightroom CC. Lightroom CC is the online sharing, your mobile, and you can edit in Lightroom Creative Cloud, but it's a cloud. It's the cloud version. You're putting your images in the cloud. They're also on your computer, but you've got them backed up on the cloud. And we'll get there. But when
You have
I
to pay
say
monthly for that, right?
if you are a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription member, you get Lightroom, you get Photoshop, you get Lightroom Cloud, and a couple other things. Portfolio, which is a web-based thing, and some other things. So when I say syncing to Lightroom Cloud, that's what I mean. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I promise. Did I already do this?
And the purpose is for backup or sharing. You can.
Sharing, although it does back up, but you know, I wouldn't use it as a backup source because I think that it's only a smart preview. It's not the actual photo. Again, it's just pointing to it, I think. And although you can export from there, and we can export various sizes and file formats, but for viewing purposes, I think it's just a smart preview is all you're viewing on the cloud.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Joni,
already
Fred-
yeah.
Fred Floral had a question in chat, which is how do you make a subfolder in a collection? I think he just answered that with the collection sets description, right? Are you okay with that, Fred?
Yes, thank you.
Now, if I this is the Adirondack. This is a folder in the under travel named Adirondack. I don't think I can make a folder within a folder, only within a collection set.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. So you can't do that. The Adirondacks has to be a collection set in order to have a subfolder in it.
So if you plan, if there's any chance you might want to add subfolders later, it's best just to create it as a collection set instead of a collection.
Sure, but you can always create a collection set. Call it Adirondacks. Or call it New York. Let's just do something like that. New York. Because maybe you have many places and you're not going to put it inside. You're going to have a collection, put it inside travel. I'll do inside travel. So, and I'm going to create a collection set, call it New York, put it inside my travel collection set and create it. And now I've got this Adirondacks, and the Adirondacks are in New York. So I can just click on the folder, hold it, and move it in. See how New York turns blue? I'm going to highlight it and switch it. And now in the New York collection set, which is in the travel collection set, I have my Adirondack photos. So like here's New York City is in New York. I could take New York City and move that up and put it in the New York. And now in my New York collection set under travel, I've got both the Adirondacks and New York City.
Okay.
So this is the same system you can do in your regular folders. You know, the difference is a collection set has multiple folders.
Much more
A
detailed.
collection can't have a subfolder. Only a collection set can have a subfolder. Does that answer Fred's question?
Yeah, I think you can make out of a collection, you can make a collection set later on.
So
You
looking,
think that
yeah,
So for instance, if you go to butterflies or whatever, and you right click collections or add a collection, create collection, I'm sorry, then you can add it to the butterflies. I just tried it on mine, and I just didn't know you can add subfolders in my collection.
all right, let me see. So let me say this,
Yeah.
call this magic wings.
So yeah, if you click on inside a collection set, I think you can add it to your butterflies. No, hold on a second.
No, it doesn't do that. I made a separate.
Right, no, as I said, you had to have that inside a collection.
I did.
No, you didn't.
No. Hold on.
wait.
So so what's Fred saying? Why isn't this deleting? I want to delete
So
this.
right click
Hold
on.
Hold on. I just want to get rid of this, delete.
Okay.
So I've got the butterfly collection highlighted. I right click and I create collection.
Mhm.
and I call it Magic Wings.
Okay, where it says location. Okay,
Here,
click on that. Yeah,
correct, but it's only going to show me my collection sets. It doesn't show me a collection. The butterflies is in a collection set.
got it.
It's only a standalone collection,
Okay.
so it did not go in there.
Okay, got it.
Okay, but Joni, you looking at your list, you could have a nature collection set and then put
Mhm.
your birds, butterflies, and so
Yep.
on in that, right?
Absolutely. Just the way I created in the travel one, I
Yeah.
created in New York and I moved the Adirondacks and the New York City into that.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
So if you move any of the collections that it's not a collection set on top of yet another one, would it make automatically a collection set?
I don't think so.
So
For
for instance, if you drag doors on top of butterflies, it'll make
well, I'm
it.
going to take I'm just because I'm here, I'm going to take my Italy book and put it on top of it. See, it won't highlight. Italy won't highlight.
Mhm.
So no. Now, if I go up to here, this is a collection within a collection. It did highlight and it did move my Italy book
I see.
and my Italy 2002. If I move that up to the collection set and drop it, it goes up there.
I see. Okay, so it has to be defined as a collection set. That's
Correct.
the bottom line. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
So each collection, you have to move.
Excuse me, I'm just going to ask you to hold on a second. I have okay, thank you. I have a family issue going on these. I got an update on, and it wasn't good, but anyway, sorry, ask that question again now.
So you you can either add one at a time, or if they're grouped in your desktop, you can like add 8 at a time. Could you show us how to do that again?
Oh, if I have images in a folder.
How to
Yes.
get them into the collection, yeah.
Right. So let's say I have, we already did the Falmouth one.
You're in your library now.
I'm in my library
Okay.
and I'm going to,
Okay,
Your folder. You
and
go
I'm
in-
going to do all of these. I'm not going to do all of these birds, and I've selected them all. And now I'm going to go down to collections. I think I can right click. Let me see if I can right click and create a collection. I cannot. I have to go down to collections and click the plus sign and then create collection. And I'll call this Baby Robins. And I could put them in a collection set, obviously. I'm including all the selected photos by checking this box. I'm setting this as, I can set this as the target collection if I know that there are other baby robins from other folders that I want to add to it. And if I want to sync this to Lightroom Creative Cloud, I can check it here. But I can also do it later. So now when I click create, if I go down into my collection, here's baby robins. Now, if I want to make this the targeted collection, I can right click on it and still make it the targeted collection. If I want to sync it with Lightroom, I'm going to check over here and sync it with Lightroom, and it'll say syncing. And I can do other things. I can export this as a catalog. I can import smart collection settings. I can do other things with that. But those are the 3 major things you do. And if I wanted to get rid of this, I could either right click it and delete it, or I believe when it's highlighted, I just click the minus sign and it goes away. It's deleting that. Now it's still, my baby robins is still up here, wherever they were up here in my folders on this hard drive, but I made a collection and didn't want it, so I deleted it. I want this to be so long. I thought
A
it was
collection
mine.
set.
Well, that was just a collection. It wasn't a collection
Oh.
set, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
I mean, the same thing, I could remove a collection set too, and I'll be removing all of these images, all the folders within it. I'm not going to do it. Any more questions on that?
Yeah, my since I just started off on my own in Lightroom, none of my, I mean, they're show up as a year, but I haven't put them in any categories in my library. And I don't know what to do now.
Okay, that goes back to one of our first or second weeks in the videos where you can right click and rename the folder and create a folder structure. I think that the default, and Alan can probably correct me if I'm wrong, I think you, Alan, and other people use the folder system when they're importing that defaults by Lightroom so that it goes in by dates. But you could always right click, like you can see my folder structure. I go by years. This hard drive is photos that were taken between 2018 and 2021. And within that, I have my 2018 photos. And within that, I name my folders on import. I do this on import. This is how I think of organization, by year and then event name. So I have these photos were taken January of 2018, and they're of Evelyn. Evelyn's going to have a lot of these. Evelyn, who's a granddaughter. So, and I went to a workshop in 2018 January, and these are all my final images. If I have other images in progress or outtakes, they might be there too. But the final image is in the base because I have it set up in preferences that way that I can view what's in the base folder.
Yeah, so you do it as each individual event as you go along. I haven't been doing that. I just,
Well, as you import images into Lightroom Classic, you have a choice on the right system. If you go back, I think it might be the second video, week 2, import. I go into the import settings, and we had a discussion that night because other people do it differently than I do.
Okay, and on the videos, you said we have to join YouTube and pay every month?
No, only if you want to download the videos.
Oh,
To view them, you can click on the link, and that's a good thing to do right now. Get rid of this. I wish I could get, there we go. If you go onto the Gateway homepage and you go to resources and links, there's a Lightroom SIG category on our homepage. And now here are all the weeks that we've had so far up until this week. This is the title of the class. And if you click on video, it will take you right to the YouTube video, and it's going to start right now. There we go.
Oh, Lord.
Let's pause that. So it takes you right to there.
I can watch it, but I don't have to download.
Correct. And the links will always be there. You can also just go to YouTube and search Gateway Camera Club Framingham, and the images will be there. Search Gateway Camera. Well, I spelled it wrong, but it came up anyway. So here's like week 7, week 1. They're not in order. If you go on channel, this is my channel because so they are all listed. There's a playlist here. COVID today.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I know. She's going to be 90 in June. Okay, so all of the videos are there. And then also, if you click on the notes, it's a link to the notes that go with it. The notes you can download on a Mac. It's this little icon in the upper right hand corner, and you can download it and keep it on your hard drive wherever you want. But I think the only way to download the videos are to pay for YouTube Premium. To view them, you don't, and they'll always be there. I mean, I can't say always in 100 years, but probably for as long as we're going to be around, these videos will all be up there.
great. Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions before I try to get back into wherever my notes are?
Or another tip, you can also tab it. Right?
Tab it?
Yeah. like
Okay, let's tab it.
when you're in your computer and you want to save something, you go to,
Oh, you can make make it a favorites or make it a,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, you can do
I'm
that.
sure. I'm
So
sure.
that you don't have to go to the gateway.
Gotcha.
So Joni, different collections are, different catalogs would have different collections.
So good question. And when we get to syncing, this would have come up. Yes, different catalogs have different collections. When I go into, I actually don't want to close this and go into another catalog, but if I go back into the SIG catalog, I don't have almost that. I might have 1 or 2 collections, but I have almost no collections. But you can only sync one catalog to Lightroom Creative Cloud at a time. So if I was in the Lightroom SIG and I started to sync images, I'd get a warning box that said, your images are already synced to another catalog. If you sync this image to your Lightroom Creative Cloud, all those other images will be taken out of the cloud. So you want to be real careful if you have more than one catalog that you work with. I'm only syncing image. I have collections in Lightroom SIG catalog, but I'm only syncing images from my own personal catalog. Good question.
Joni?
Yep.
Just as an aside, I love your number 13, the face in the tree, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Thanks.
ET. I don't remember what it's called. There's a name for that.
Yeah, I don't either. And
mortification.
Pareidolia.
Thank you. Say it again. I'm talking. Say it again.
Pareidolia?
Yeah, no, paranoia.
No, pareidolia. DOLIA.
Yeah,
No, it's not it.
Lisa Kachura is into that.
Right, I love it.
Yeah.
Looks like ET phone home. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Pareidolia.
Yeah, I can never remember the name of it. I probably still won't because I'm not really listening right now, unfortunately. If you have an image that's not in a particular collection, but you want it to sync to Lightroom Cloud, there is a way to do that. In the catalog, you'll see all synced photographs. I could just, if I don't know if this is if this image is in a collection or not. Let's see. Photo. Okay, why isn't it doing it? Interesting. Okay, and I go to photo. I don't know why the add collection, and I don't know why it's adding to quick collection. This is not expected behavior. It should say add to, maybe because my quick collection is now. Let's see, what's the
quick collection?
We'll go into that in a minute. I have to have a targeted collection, so let's do flowers. There's a targeted, make this my target collection. And when I have this photo, it says remove from target collection. So this actually is in my flower collection. I'm going to remove it. Let's say it's not in there. I have to be in the folder. I can take this image and drag this image into, let's do G. Drag this image into all synced photographs, and see the plus sign, and this is highlighted. If I dropped it there, now that image should be added. That should have gone to 3898. 38.99. It did. Okay, so I can remove this now. It doesn't matter. It's just going to go into a random place in my catalog. It won't be in a specific folder in Lightroom Cloud, but we'll get to that very soon. I want to go through smart collections first. I just want you to know you don't have to sync a photo only when it's in a collection. You can sync individual photos without putting them in collection by dragging them, clicking and dragging them up into all synced photographs.
And when you do that, it stays where the original is and it goes into the synced one. So you have it in 2 places. right?
You have it in one place, but Lightroom knows it's in the folder in your hard drive, and it's also added to the Creative Cloud.
Okay.
Okay. Before we move on to a smart collection, which is slightly different, do we have any other final questions? Again, all the syncing and all the Creative Cloud stuff we're going to get to after we do smart collections. Okay. Smart collections work a little bit differently. You don't manually put the images in by clicking and dragging or making it a target collection and clicking the letter B to add it or remove it. It's a system that Lightroom automatically adds photos to the smart collection based on specific criteria that you give the collection. Lightroom gives you some, I believe, that I've taken them out of my smart collection, so they're not here, but I think they have like a smart collection of all your colored images, all your 5-star images, all the images you did in the past month. And you can delete those collections, which I've done by right-clicking on the smart collection and just deleting it. But when you create a smart collection, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to click the plus sign next to collections, and you're going to create a smart collection. And you're going to name the smart collection. I don't know if this is going to work for me, but let's say it's a black and white. Let's say, I'm going to call it black and white. I'm not sure. You can make a smart collection inside a collection set. Which I don't know if I have a black and white here or not. I don't. And now you have choices, and this is a filter system. This is sorting and filtering system. Maybe I want all images that have keywords. So I'm saying all, and I'm going to choose, there's a double arrow next to rating. I'm going to choose keywords, I think, aren't I? File name, source. Somewhere in here is keyword. Metadata, is it there?
Yeah, right there. Go back
In
up.
metadata,
There
Metadata.
it is, okay. Under metadata is keyword. So hopefully I have some images, and can I just cancel out of this? I want to be on all images in my catalog. That's the other thing. If you're on a specific folder, it's only going to search for images in that specific folder. So now I'm going to click this, create a smart collection. Hopefully I've keyworded some photos black and white because I didn't test this out today. I'm making it up as I go along.
Don't you need a check mark inside a collection set? You didn't check mark that.
I'm not.
Other
I don't
data.
need. I don't need to do that.
Okay.
Other metadata keywords, and keyword contains. Oh, I think I did it black and W. I think that's how. If I have any like that. And then I might want to give it more criteria, but I want the rating to be as greater or equal to 5 stars. And let's see what happens when I click create. I have no images that I've done black and white, so that's not a good one to do. Let's delete that. I can do one that I already have. I don't think it'll matter. So let's create a smart collection. And I'll call it flop. I'm going to call it floral just so it's different than flowers. And if I have a flower set, a collection set called flowers, I'm not sure. I don't, that's okay. So I'm not going to put it, but I'm going to say they contain flowers. I know that's a keyword I've used, and 5 stars. And I have 101 images that I have flowers in the keywords, because I'm not, over the years, I wasn't 100% great at keywording. So not every flower image I have. And of course, I gave it a second criteria that it had to be a 5-star or better. Well, 5 stars. So in my whole collection, I have 100, and I did it instantly. Now, if I go out shooting, or let's say I go to a folder, none of these. So this has flowers on it. They should be in there. Floral. I don't know why this has flowers on it. That shouldn't. Here we go. So those ice cube ones, they had flowers on it. If I go to a folder, does this have flowers? It does. Let's go to an older one.
Change the rating because you can add a flower with the 4 to 5.
Say that again?
If it has, you had a criteria of 5
I have 2
stars.
criterias, right?
Yes, but flowers and 5 stars. So if
Right.
you have something that's not 5 stars, you
Or
can.
not flowers, right?
Huh? Oh, right.
Okay, did you
So I'm gonna,
rate
what I'm gonna,
those 5 stars yourself?
I did that when I edit. My editing process, when I upload images to Photoshop, is to flag all the ones that I want to edit, and I put them in an in progress folder. And then as I edit those and I'm completely happy with them, I give them a 5-star rating. I don't do 1 through 5. I only have 5 or nothing, almost. That's with some exceptions. But by and large, my workflow is when I'm done editing an image, I give it 5 stars.
Oh.
And then I use those and I put them in my base folder. All the ones that I'm the happiest with, I put them back into the base folder. I have the in progress that maybe I'll do something with them later, and the rest I put in outtakes. So that, again, week 2 or 3, I go over that. I think it might be week 3 organization in
That's
my
the new term
videos,
you use, base. What's the base for you?
right?
The main folder?
So
Folder.
in this case, let's see. I have to go again. These are older pictures, so those are really older pictures. But in this case, I have. Let's see. Here's my flower ice cubes photo shoot. So I took a little over 100 images, right? But of the 100 of them, I had 55 that I put in progress. And of those 55, I edited 25 images that I liked and gave them 5 stars. The ones that I didn't pick and didn't want to edit at all, I moved into the outtake folder. So when I've got my in progress, let me do this. I'm moving back. So we're going to call this flower ice cubes is the base folder, and it has 2 folders underneath. It has an in progress and it has an outtake.
I got it.
But that's the base folder.
And what's the outtake? You're gonna get rid of
Outtakes are images that usually after a few months, if I know, I'll do like a cleanup, and there's a quick way I can do that, and I can use a smart collection to do that. Now it's going to take too long to do this. I don't want to play with this. All right, I stopped it. But normally, so these 55 photos would have been all in progress, but of the 55, 25 I edited happily, and I sorted them when they were all in the same folder. I sorted them and I moved the 5 stars into the base folder. So now if I go to any of my folders, I can tell how many images in that folder I'm happy with, but just kind of looking at it. But I might have some images in a subfolder that maybe someday I'll work on these, probably not. And these are the outtakes. Okay, now where was I? Making a smart collection, right?
Why would you want a smart collection versus a collection?
Because a smart collection, that's where I was getting to next, to be honest with you. Okay, so I made my smart collection, and the criteria for this was any photo in of all my whole catalog that I put keyword flowers and gave it a 5-star rating, I made a smart collection. Let's say if I go do a flower photo shoot next week, and I put the keyword flowers, and when I'm done editing them, anything that goes 5-star will automatically be added to this floral collection.
Ah,
And even now, that's where I was sort of going with this. What year was I in? I think Wicked Tulip. I have Wicked Tulips. These are only in progress. And I don't have any stars on them. I was looking for one that I had.
But Joni, if you put 5 stars on it, it should.
I know, that's what I'm explaining. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get, not to be a pain, not to snap at you, but I'm looking for, I don't have any, 2022 I might. I'm showing how I can add more.
You can pick any picture and color.
I know, I'm being a little anal. You're right. You're right. But I thought I went to Wicked Tulips last year. I did in 2021. There we go. Yeah, it's only one flower. All right. Oh my goodness. Sorry, folks.
Crayola shoot.
All right, let's just do this. Look at this. If I wanted, if these were all flowers, which they're not, I'm gonna, they are all 5 stars, but I'm gonna right click. None of them have flowers in them. And I'm gonna add the keyword flowers.
Which one?
Was
There's
it
no,
flower? Well, excuse me, just a second. Did I say flowers or S? I think I said flower. Flower or flowers? Does anybody remember in my
I think
keyword on
I
the
think
smart
there was an
collection?
S. I think there was an S.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna sync them. I just added on all of these images, even though they're not pulled up yet. All these images, I added the word flowers and they're 5 stars. So there was 10 images. In a perfect world, in my collection down here, I should have 110 floral,
Johnny,
111.
Johnny,
Yes,
you can put a comma between Evelyn and flowers, and I think they will not be added.
Well,
they
they
did
were
get
added.
added.
It's
They did get added.
111.
They did, okay.
Yeah, they got added. You don't think I did that?
Yeah, if you look in your
It
key,
was the one
word
traveling
tags,
file.
your comma, but okay, so it just picked something that has flowers in it as a keyword.
Right.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
So those photos got added to this collection. So if I was doing an import of new photos and I put keyword flowers, and then as I edited any of those images that became a 5-star, Lightroom is always collecting those images on a regular basis. So you're always adding to that. You're doing a project like Alan did with his carousels. Every time he went out shooting catalog, I mean, he could be going for 2, 3, 4 years. But every time that if he made a smart collection that said any image that had the keyword carousel and has 5 stars, every time he imports images and edits them and gives them those 2 criteria, it will always be added to that collection. Does that make sense? It's an ongoing saved search. So it's different than a regular collection where you're manually adding them. Lightroom is automatically adding to this collection. I believe another way, and we can test it right now, to make a collection, a smart collection. I might even have this already, called outtakes. And I'm going to remove it. Remember the last 2 categories. Oh, see, there we go. It says flowers. So there was an S. Thank you, Phyllis. I'm going to remove that criteria. And I'm going to say any folder somewhere, folder contains the word outtakes. So I have a bunch of folders named outtakes, and I'm going to create a smart collection. And this outtake has 2,025 images. That's 22,000 images that I have put in my outtake folder and haven't cleaned up and removed them. I believe what I can do now is select all of them, right click, and remove these photos from this. I'm not going to do it because I'm not 100% sure that all of these are images. I don't want to see the most recent ones. Yeah, they probably are. But so you can see these are the ones that my outtakes from my Ice Cube flower photo shoot, outtakes from my grandson's first year. So I have 2,000 in my whole catalog. I have 2,025 images that are in outtake folders. And if I right click, I could delete them all now from Lightroom's catalog. I'm still going to have them on my hard drive, but you could do this. So you have a running collection of outtake images from outtake folders. And instead of going through all of my folders and going through which ones have outtakes, I automatically have a smart collection. And maybe once every 60 days, I go through there and delete those images. Does that make sense? See how quickly all those images, 2,000 images, went automatically in there because it had that criteria. I think that's powerful myself.
Yeah, it is.
Smart collections.
So
Yeah.
you're naming every single photo?
Yep.
What was the verb? I'm naming them.
Well, how?
Is that what you said?
Yeah, you've loaded the photo. How does it get to have a name out?
So I have, again, it's back to my folder structure system. I have my base folder. Yeah, this is the best one. I have a base folder called flowers. I have in progress or images that I may or may not want to work on in the future. I have outtakes of duplicates or bad images that I just will never work on those images. And I have thrown them into a folder called outtakes. And because I have this system in my library, when I created this smart collection called outtakes using this criteria, any folder that contains the word outtakes, Lightroom automatically took 2,025 images and put them in this smart collection for me.
Okay.
And that's 2025. So let's remember that. And if I go to a folder and I have, I haven't touched any of these yet. Hold on. Where's my ducks? There we go. Ducks of Falmouth. Let's say in my Ducks of Falmouth, I haven't created it yet because I haven't even looked at these pictures yet. I wasn't that happy with that shoot that day. I'm going to create a folder inside of my Ducks of Falmouth folder, and I'm going to call it Outtakes. I'm going to create that folder. And let's say I'm going to take
Okay, so you
10
don't
images.
you don't name you don't give a title to a photograph until you take it out of your folders.
I'm not titling the photograph. I just told the smart collection to look at folders named outtakes. So what did I have? 2025, right? And how many? I have 11 images selected here right now. If I take these 11 images and move them into the outtake folder,
So for every download, you categorize them.
correct.
Yeah.
But you can also keyword them.
Yeah, in the metadata.
I
mean,
can do that, but this
yeah.
is my system.
I know. But somebody
Yeah,
was
this is
asking
just how
to
I do it.
title
What do you mean?
I mean, I could.
I didn't mean it that way. I
That
mean,
easier?
No, 601. You could, but then you would have to, your smart collection would have to say keyword outtakes. I already have folders named outtakes. So I made the smart collection based on any images that are in a folder called outtakes. And as soon as, I mean, we have one image that's moved in, it's taking a couple of seconds. So so outtakes now has two, see, it's adding to my outtakes right now. Lightroom is adding to this smart collection because I created a new folder called outtakes, and all those images from the Ducks of Falmouth, as they move in here, let's undo smart solo mode. As they move in here, as they move from here to here, they're adding images there. It's just slow. It's taking a couple minutes, but do you understand the concept? And yes, if I had made the smart collection any, instead of folder, any keywords that contains outtakes, and I'm going to cancel this, and then took a whole bunch of images and added the word outtake in the keywords of those images, it would have created a smart collection based on keywords. I just already had a folder system in place, so it was easier for me, and it was a different way for you to see. There's all sorts of criteria in the smart collection that you can use. You don't have to use, you can say, if it has any of the following rules. So if it has this or 5 stars, it'd be one or the other. So all images that are in a folder named outtake and all images that have 5 star, it has any of these rules. That's going to be a lot of images will be created there versus all. You'll have no images. For me, I'll do non-outtakes. If I make a collection set where the rules of it, that the folder contains outtakes and the rating is 5 stars, because all of my outtakes have never been edited, they should not have 5 stars. If I create this collection, it should be 0.
Yeah.
Non-outtakes has 9. Oh, look at that. I didn't expect that. So obviously I have some images in my outtakes folder that have 5 stars. I don't know why they have 5. No, I don't know why they have 5 stars. No, I mean, obviously there's many years of stuff that I've done. I mean, these pictures were taken in 2012, 2014. These are old, although these are not. So I don't know
Look how cute that
why
baby
that is.
is.
Oh my God, that's such a horrible picture. I have
That's
much better
so
pictures of her.
cute.
She just turned 9 years old, I think.
Oh my
Was it
God.
2014? Yeah, she just turned 9 years old.
Johnny, I have a question, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
about this smart collections. So you created a criteria, whatever that is, and now you have a collection. But what if you want to change that criteria for that collection? Can you re-edit the criteria?
I don't think so. I think that you actually have
Yes.
to create a new, you can, all right, let's just look.
You just
Edit
add
smart
a
collection.
plus, and because
Look at this. If you write, all right, Alan, all right, thanks. If you right click, Fred, and edit smart collection. Let's see.
I see. Okay.
This all now you can change. You can change this. You can change this to folder contains in progress.
Yeah. Okay.
And it'll create a different collection. Or like Alan said, you hit a plus sign and it has a rating of 2 stars, let's say, or it has some other, whatever, a label, pick a flag, whatever. There's a whole lot of criteria. And if there's an arrow next to it, there's sub criteria within that. That's why I had a hard time finding it. I don't make them a whole very often. You can do it by camera info, focal length, shutter speed. So anytime I have a 24 to 70 lens, let's say, all those images can go into a smart collection. I don't know why you would. I'm just saying there's lots of criteria and you can use any or all. I don't know why you'd have none. That doesn't make sense to me. And you can add as many criterias as you want.
Joni, a question.
Plus sign. Yeah.
Okay, question. So, let's see. It sounds like what you have is basically the intersection of sets, okay? So if you specify you want something that contains keyword A and keyword B and keyword C, it's the intersection of sets A, B, and C. Now, is there a negative? Can you say, I want something that has A, B, and C, and does not have D?
Let's see. I believe there is, but let's see. That contains.
It wasn't
Yes,
an
it-
academic question.
No, I'm just saying, if you, so I did folder that contains, if you click on the double arrow, you can do a folder that contains words, doesn't contain
Okay.
outtakes.
Okay.
So now if I do that, if I have a folder that doesn't contain outtakes and is greater or equal to 5 stars, it's probably going to be all of my base folders.
Mhm.
Maybe there's some in progress ones that have 5 stars, but most of them are going to be my finished edited, which I put back in my base folder. So, and so within each of these, you've got different criteria you can give it.
Mhm.
You just
Okay.
kind of have to think about your organizational system and what it is you're trying to make a smart collection of.
So here's the reason why I'm asking the question. You know, I don't have the skills of some of the people in the club, so I have pictures that maybe are good but are not excellent. And you can't take a picture, let's say, that is slightly out of focus and fix it. We don't have the ability to do that yet. So I make my star system to say something like, well, maybe that gets 3 stars. But the idea is then I would, let's say I want a collection that contains vacation pictures and arboretums, but doesn't contain 3-star pictures. That's the way I would use that.
Okay. I mean, we all sort of think differently. So organizational systems are going to be a little different, and what we want to make a smart collection based on, you just kind of sort of have to think about how your organizational system is and what's your end result. What images are you want to always continue to add to this, what's called a saved search.
So what I'm basically saying is that for other people, their outtakes might be pictures that aren't 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 3 stars. Maybe they're 2-star pictures. But
sure,
yes. And then this way, if you gave things with 1 or 2 stars outtakes, then you would make sure that when you gathered up pictures of vacations and flowers, you wouldn't get any of those.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
It's just logic. It's just logic we're talking about.
Right.
Okay. Now I think we're up to the part that we're sharing our images with Lightroom Classic. So let me look at here. All right, so these are smart collections. Smart collections aren't going to be synced with Lightroom Classic. These are, you'd have to move them into another. But we made this collection. What did we do to that today? We made it our target collection. I don't know if I added to it. The floral collection, that was a smart collection. Let me make, I don't think I made a collect. So, all right, let's, I have a collect. All right, this is a collection of textures that I've manually done over the years, but as I get more organized, I have a keyword texture. I could make textures like I have done with skies a little bit. I do have sky keywords. So I've got a smart collection. If I shoot any more skies and I remember to put the keyword there, I'm sure I've got other sky images. I just haven't put the keyword there. They would always be in a smart collection. So I don't have to go digging through if I want a sky image to replace a sky or whatever, or do something in a composite. I don't have to go through all my folders and think, oh, when did I shoot skies? I just have to be good about adding to my keywords. Same with textures. And I can make this a smart collection. I just haven't, but it's something that certainly is easy enough to do. If I don't think I've got any images that I've actually added the keyword textures. It's only been very recently that I've been better at doing keywords, to be honest with you. Let's see. Oh, I'm boring somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Someone's falling asleep.
No, it's not bored.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try to find a collection that's not synced. And it's not that big. These are all, I sync a lot of stuff. Okay, I don't have any pictures of Venice that are in that collection. All right, my blanket, all right, so my holiday banquet slideshow images, I never did put them in. I made this collection so that I could use it, and I had all my slideshow images in one place and I could create a slideshow with it. I'm going to click the box next to, and it's syncing, and it's going to take a few minutes, but up here in the right-hand corner of your module area, on the very right side, there is a cloud. And this is your syncing area. Depending on the plan you have, determines how much storage you have. You can see I'm using 5 gigabytes of 20 that I can possibly use. And right now it's syncing 35 images. Is that how many were in that? There were 63, but it's working on it. It's going to catch up. Now, I have open, and for Mac users, you'd go into your Launchpad and you'd find your Lightroom LR is Lightroom Creative Cloud, LrC is Lightroom Classic. I have it saved on my bottom toolbar, so it's I can just click it open. I opened it earlier. So now I go to Lightroom Classic, and on the left side are my albums. Of course they are. Shared albums. Here are my albums down here. All my albums. Those are shared albums. Here's all my albums. So these are collections. They're called albums in Creative Cloud, Lightroom Creative Cloud. And these are the images that I have. If I went to, if I go back to Lightroom, these are the images that have been synced over the years. And there's a couple of things you can do when you're in Lightroom Classic. If I have, let's go to family and friends. If I, a friend of mine had a 65th birthday, they asked me to take pictures. I edited the pictures, and those I shared with them a link. I can actually right click from here, and I can click on Lightroom links, because I've synced it with Lightroom. I don't think you can do this unless it's actually syncing with Lightroom. Lightroom links, and I can copy a public link and email, text it, or message it to the person, or I can click view on web. And if I click on that, this is basically what they're seeing when I send them. They're seeing an album like this, that they can click on each image and right arrow and click through them. That's what they'll get, and that's what they'll see. And they can actually make comments on here. And if they make comments on this image, oh, I like this, print this in a 5x7, let's say, for example, then I will see that. It'll sync back to my cloud, and I'll see that, and I'll be able to read their comment. So this is their individual portfolio of images that I saved for them. I don't know why this went to Evelyn Kinderkicks when I thought I clicked on Kenny. 65th birthday, didn't I? Here's his 65th birthday. Huh? I must have mixed up. And then sync links, view on web. Okay, there it is. And the other thing I could do is, like I said, if I copy the link, and then send it to him in an email. Paste. There's his link right there. Oops. There's his link, and if I send it to him, no, I'm not
Oh,
editing
so
it,
you're
I'm
just
making
sending
it.
the link.
Yeah. So there it is. And if they click on that link, or if I copied and pasted it into the browser, and now that they can do all the, they can't, and I don't think they can download these. And if they can, they're thumbnails, they're just smart previews. So people can't really do anything with these. Typically, I would tell people, which ones do you want me to put on a flash drive for you? And they would give me the image number. Or if they say, oh, turn this into a black and white, things like that. And then I have the images that I want to share with them at the end of the day. There'd be a conversation back and forth with them typically. So the Lightroom Cloud, and can do this. You can do this in, if you, with G, you can do this in a gallery, or you can look at individual pictures in a loop. Now, in Lightroom Cloud, on the right-hand side, these icons look really familiar to you. These are similar to what they are in the development menu. If I go to develop, there's your basic editing icon, your cropping, your healing, red eye, and masking. If you go into the Creative Cloud version, you have the same icons over here. So you can edit in Creative Cloud. And here's all the same my brain just fogged up. Tools. You've got effects, detail, basic, light color. These are the sliders. All the same sliders are there. Here's your cropping tools, healing tools, masking tools, all the new masks that we have. Obviously, I did a bunch of masks in here. So you can see this is all stuff that I did in Lightroom Classic. But if you had an image, let's say you had an image that you took on your phone and you wanted to put this, I have to stop editing. I want to go back. There we go. Go back to here. I don't want to be in editing anymore. There we go. Okay. What was I saying? So this is what the program looks like on a desktop. It's also the same in Lightroom Mobile, where you can see these images in this folder system and edit them on your smartphone or on your tablet on the Lightroom Mobile app. So you have all the same functionality. The platform might look a little different, but the functionality is somewhere in there. And I don't really know how to, Fred is good at this. I learned, take my phone and hook it up so you can see it in Zoom or my iPad, but you have the same functionality. So this is how I might go into my Adirondacks image. And if I right click it here, I can share an invite and I can get the same link, get a shareable link. And if I wanted to share this, I could copy it and I could email or mail or send in Messenger a link to these images to somebody if I just want to show them. Or if I'm out and about with my phone or my iPad. Oh, I just took my grandson's first birthday pictures, want to see Logan's pictures, then I could share them on my phone, just like physically show people on my phone. No matter where I am, these images are in the cloud. So they sync to the desktop Lightroom Creative Cloud. They sync to Lightroom Mobile, which is available on my phone and my iPad.
If you make changes in the album, does that just happen in the album? It doesn't affect the original?
No, it syncs. So the syncing to Lightroom Cloud and Lightroom Classic is both ways. So if I make a change to this image right here, and I make this a black and white, if I remember where black and white, I don't use this version very often. Let's just add a really big vignette, really dark. That's not really working that much. And there also isn't a history panel here, I don't think either. That's another reason I don't particularly like working with this color. Must be a black and white thing in color somewhere, right? Color, mix of color grading. I'm trying to do something like really ridiculous. Let's bring it all the way down.
Whoops.
Once it syncs, if I go back, it's automatic. I don't have to do anything. It's automatically going to happen. If I go to what collection was this in? My favorites, Adirondacks. I go to Lightroom Classic, and I go to my Adirondack collection, which we know is in Travel, New York, Adirondacks. When this syncs at some point, and it's still working on, it's still syncing different things. At some point, it'll come by and that will turn all black. You'll see it in because now I'm back in Lightroom Classic.
Okay, thank you.
It does reverse sync. It syncs both ways.
Johnny, I probably missed it. So do you mean to say that everything in your collection is automatically synced with Lightroom Cloud?
Only if you have it chosen in your collection. If I take this camping trip from 2021, if I click on that little box to the left of the arrow, stop syncing this collection, yes. So now I'm not syncing that collection.
Okay,
If
I got it. That's what
after
I
this
meant.
all refreshes, if I go back into Lightroom Cloud, that camping trip collection won't be there anymore.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I missed it.
That's okay. Yeah, not every collection will sync, only if you manually tell it to. Now,
Thank
when
you.
you create a collection, you can create a collection and then you have a choice of sync with Lightroom. So you can do it when you create the collection if you know this is going to be a collection you want to from the start. But if you don't, you can either click the little box next to the collection, which is the easiest way, or you can right click and you can do sync with Lightroom.
And so the albums on the Lightroom Cloud, are they in raw format or already converted into something like JPEG or
Okay, now let's not do this. Let's go back. Let's do this exposure. Let's go fix that. These images, I believe, let's go to info. Let's get out of edit. And down here, there's an I for info. And it will tell you. This is raw image.
where does it?
Sorry?
Where does it show that it's raw?
So NEF is the extension for Nikon RAW.
Oh, okay, great thing.
So they are raw images. And then you can actually export from here as well by clicking on the share icon. And then you can export them as JPEGs. You have custom settings that you can export them as TIFF, DNG. You can change the dimensions. And you can, I think it's custom. You have to go to custom settings, dimensions, custom dimensions. If you wanted to, let's say the 1400 on the long side, which is what we need for in JPEG. And you can choose what different things that you want when you export it, and then you can export the photo. And it goes to my hard drive here. Oftentimes I use this if I've got a collection and I want to, sometimes I just put it in my camera photos on my phone. And we haven't done exporting yet. Like I said at the beginning of the night, that's something that I realized I never really have gone over. And I believe we're going to do that 2 weeks from tonight. People that came in late, because we're not really at the end yet, but people that came in late, next week we have no class, and I'll send that in the email as well. The week after, I did think of a homework assignment that you should all create a collection for yourselves and a smart collection and play with that. That's your homework assignment. So if you next Monday night, you want something to do, that would be a good thing to do. The video will be up on YouTube by then. And in 2 weeks from tonight, we'll meet, and I'm combining a few different lessons because I don't think we need a whole 2 hours to go through. And one of the things I added was exporting images because we haven't really gone over that at all. So I was planning to do that.
Junie, you asked people to submit pictures for post-processing. Did anyone submit besides me?
Yep, I had those. Oh,
What-
actually, Linda, I didn't import your images. Let me import them.
So when are we gonna do that? Are we doing it tonight or in 2 weeks?
I was going to do that if we had time tonight, which it looks like we do. And I also wanted to go see. So what I was importing. What was I importing? I wanted to see if they got into. I wanted to show you in here. What was the new collection that I imported? The banquet slideshow. Let's see if we have that here. Yep, here we are. Holiday banquet slideshow. They are in the process of importing. So these
That's
are the
holiday
images I had in
banquet?
there. Well, this was a slideshow that I made that we saw, that I showed at the holiday banquet. It was all people portraits. So a few minutes ago, I didn't have this collection synced with Lightroom, and I clicked it, I checked it, and so now Lightroom is syncing those to the cloud. This was not in the cloud before tonight. I just wanted to show you that they were syncing. And I want to import, Linda did send 3 images.
Before you do that, can I ask a quick question about collections?
Yep, can you do it while I'm doing it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never set up a smart collection that I'm aware of, but
Okay.
I have under smart collection, I have a thing that looks like a file drawer that says smart collection with 241 photos in it, and another one that says without keywords, it has 67,248.
That's
And
funny. So I think
I don't-
Lightroom automatically does that.
Why would they do that to me?
They have like colored, I think in the Lightroom SIG, I noticed there was some that I never created. Any images that are colored, any images that have stars, any images, I forget all the categories. One of them was keywords or not keywords. They do have some automatic.
Joni, question?
What would happen if
Can I just let Beth finish and make sure hers are answered? Go ahead, Beth.
what would happen if can I just get rid of that smart collection?
Yeah. Yeah, right
and the
click
one without
and delete.
keywords?
Yeah.
And it won't mess up my catalog though. It'll just
Well, for you, I'm not going to promise that. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, it shouldn't. No, all you're doing is removing some custom. I don't know if there's something in here that I don't care about that, but you just can. What is the smart collections? Smart collections right here. I think all my smart oh, here we go. See, without keywords, I have 30,000 images up. So now if I ever wanted to, if I had nothing else to do and was bored out of my gourd, I could click on this and I could go to all of these and start adding keywords to them.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
what
no,
would happen
I'm not
to
gonna
them? Where would they go?
So if there was another smart collection, let's say without
No,
keywords, if there's
say
maybe,
there weren't any. Would they
go ahead,
just,
say there were.
if they say they weren't, you didn't have any keywords on them, and if you added keywords, but you didn't have a collection for those keywords, where would they then go?
They wouldn't go, they would be taken out of the smart collection because they no longer fit that criteria once you add a keyword. Let's do this one. I'll just add, this is a wedding. Oops, what am I doing? What happened to her? Is it still adding? What's going on? On that one I moved. And so I have this picture and I'm gonna add wedding. And what do we have? 29,867. When I hit enter, it should be 29,866. So that got taken out of this collection because it has a smart word. It doesn't fit this criteria anymore. If I had,
Where did it go?
it didn't go anywhere. It's still on the
Okay.
hard drive in the same place it was. It's still in the folder that was the Monet wedding that I did several years ago, but it's not in the smart collection because it doesn't fit that criteria anymore because it has a keyword. This is all images that don't have keywords is in this smart collection. If I had, let me see if I have somebody, here's a butterfly, okay? My butterflies might have 5 stars. I don't remember. If I had butterfly to this, let's just remember butterfly. Let's remember this, try to remember this picture. I add butterfly.
So that
And I hit enter. This is going to get removed from this collection and it should go in. Oh, my butterfly is not a smart collection. If I had a butterfly smart collection, it would have gone there, but I don't.
How do you know it's smart collection? Because you've got something down here that says butterflies.
Yeah, but it's not a smart collection. That's something I manually did. I manually added these images in, and that blue butterfly, it's not in there. This is not a smart collection. A smart collection would have a little tiny yellow gear to the left of the name of the folder. Do you see how there's a folder here next to video files and without keywords, and it has a little yellow gear? That tells you it's a smart collection.
Thank you.
So Joni, when you type that keyword, that's in the metadata now, right?
It is.
Okay.
That's absolutely true. And so if I make a smart, I don't think I have a smart collection. I only have 2 smart collections. So if I make a smart collection, that the keyword says butterflies, butterfly, and I'm not going to put it in a inside set yet right now. I'm going to I can do that. And folder, I don't want the folder. I want the keyword contains butterfly. And it has 5 stars. So now we have a smart collection with 13 images. So clearly a lot of my butterfly images don't have keywords in them. But if I go to these butterfly images, oh, butterflies. So let's see if I find one in here that doesn't have a keyword. Oh, they do. That one doesn't. This one doesn't. Hit enter. Now that image is in the butterfly collection, but it's also going to be in the butterfly smart collection right here. It's in both collections now.
Makes sense.
Johnny, another question. So suppose I think my collection have got an album on the Lightroom, on the Lightroom cloud. I shared it and I don't need this album. How can I delete this album without automatically deleting the collection from the Lightroom Classic?
Oh, wow, you can't.
So
if you want to delete the album from Lightroom Cloud, you need to stop syncing it with Lightroom Classic.
Oh, okay, so it is possible.
Or you can remove the whole album from Lightroom Classic. When it's removed from Lightroom Classic, there's nothing to sync, so it will be removed from Lightroom Cloud.
Yeah, that I understand. I just wanted to be able to have a collection on the Lightroom Classic, but I may not need it anymore on the Lightroom Cloud.
Then just stop syncing. Just unclick the sync button.
Yeah, got it.
And stop syncing.
Joni, when you did
Yeah.
your slideshow, did you start a collection set or just a collection? Where did you
I
put
just
your
did a
slideshow?
collection. Yeah, this is a straight collection because I mean, I guess I could because mine was people. If I had all these images that had portraits, but I actually created the collection, made it a target collection, and then went through a lot of my, I think I started with like portraits like this kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. And then I added, just looked through different various images with people. I mean, I had way more, but I had to kind of just pick some of my favorites, and I just manually added them with the B because this was considered my target collection at the time. And it didn't take long. It probably took an hour.
So you just have to
So
name it like a slideshow or something.
well, I did. I named this the 2022 Gateway Camera Club Holiday Banquet Slideshow. That was the name of my collection.
Okay.
And then I have used the slideshow in Lightroom for many years, but I actually exported these and then brought them into iMovie, and iMovie is my preferred way to make a slideshow nowadays.
So you highlight
It has
everything.
more.
You highlight everything and
Yeah, well, we haven't
export.
done exporting yet, but yeah.
Export.
Joni, I'm going to have a review, a portfolio review coming up, and so I could make a slideshow in Lightroom. Can I share that?
Well, you want to make a collection. A slideshow, yeah, I mean, you can make a slideshow in Lightroom and share it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you make a collection, and we'll do slideshows in like one of the last weeks we do slideshows. But if you make a slideshow, you can export it as a slideshow and save it on your hard drive and then put it on a thumbnail. I guess if you go into Dropbox or whatever the Google share is, you could, share it that way electronically.
Well, so I want to share it with the reviewer. So
probably put it in like a Dropbox or some folder that's big enough that you can share it with them through that, unless you're going to physically see them and you want to give them a flash drive or bring your laptop and show it on your laptop or something.
It's going to be online.
Right. So you probably want to put it in Dropbox or something like that. So, Linda, Mark, did you send an image this week or no? Just last
Yes, I
week,
did.
right?
I actually sent two. I sent two.
Okay, I don't think that.
I can send them again,
No. I don't think I have time tonight. I'll probably do it in 2 weeks if you don't mind. If I imported them, it would have been into the Lightroom SIG, and in order to close that, I'd have to close this. I have these 3 images. We have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So
2 weeks from today, I will be in Virginia. So can we do it the week after?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
So Linda,
Mm-hmm.
what would you like us to do with this heron?
Well, I like the bottom, but I don't like that black at the top, and I didn't know what to do with that. And I'd also like to make the herons stand out more.
When you say the black at the top, do you mean the green reflection of the trees?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the first thing is that if you wanted to get rid of that, you'll minimize that. You could crop it.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest way. It's just to crop it. And I kept the ratio the same. I mean, you don't get rid of all of it, but you probably would have to go into Photoshop if you want to turn this into water.
I didn't mind.
No,
I just didn't like how dark and ugly it was.
Oh, okay. So let's
That was good framing. On the pond.
right, let's go back to that. And
it does kind of vignette.
So in order to, if you wanted to lighten this up, I would do a mask and I would use a linear gradient and I would pull this down.
Oh.
And then you could even turn that just a little bit like that. And then you could change the exposure and bring the exposure up a little. I mean, you could, if you don't want it to be, I'm not sure I would make this choice, but is that the idea of what
That's
you're
one
asking?
way. Yeah, that's one way. I guess.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I
Um,
watched how you did that, linear gradient. Okay, you choose linear gradient. And
yeah,
then you
let me
put
take,
it where you
let
want.
me delete it. Yeah, so I went to this masking tool
Yeah,
and I chose linear gradient. And
okay,
if you start at the top and just kind of drag it down,
okay.
and then you can make whatever effect you want. If you want to lighten it, darken it. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I actually like it, and it does frame the heron pretty well, I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, the framing is nice.
okay.
Yeah, and if anything, I'd probably put a vignette around the whole thing. So I wouldn't do that. But in order to make the bird pop, then I would probably choose subject. So same thing. You're choosing the masking tool,
Yeah,
and let me just delete. I went too fast. Choosing the masking tool, and then there's a subject. Add a new mask to the subject,
yeah.
and look how, I mean, that's a pretty darn good mask right
Wow.
there.
Yeah, it sure
So
is.
that's just, so the mask just means this is the part of the image I'm going to affect when I make some editing, when I make some changes. And from here, you could certainly bump up the exposure a little bit, maybe bump up the shadows a little bit,
Yeah,
bring down the highlights a bit, but I'd probably bring up the texture and the clarity.
uh-huh.
And I probably would even brighten them up just a little bit more even. And then I would invert this mask and duplicate it. Oops. Now I've got everything but him selected. And now I might bring the exposure down of that. So
Oh,
if the background's darkened and he's lightened,
okay.
you
How
know,
did you
it
invert
kind,
that again? Can you just run through it
sure.
again? You go so
Yep.
fast.
So yeah, sorry, but I do. So I took this mask that I already have,
Yes,
and I click on the three little dots.
okay,
And one of the choices is duplicate the mask, but invert it at the same time.
okay.
So now you can see the red area is what we're going to affect. And
Uh-huh.
I'm going to bring that down a little.
Okay, good.
Just a smidge. I mean, you could even at that point create a new mask and maybe a radial gradient, and move this and manipulate this around a little bit. And sort of give it an invert that.
And how did you get the radio? The
All
radio?
right, I'll try this out. And then maybe just now make an actual vignette. I created a mask by clicking the plus sign, and then
Yeah.
radial gradient is right here.
It's a choice, okay.
Yep, and then when you do it, you just kind of start anywhere, click and drag, and it makes an oval. And you can change the direction by spinning the arrows. Once you hit outside of the radiant, there's a double arrow, this curved arrow, and I'm kind of pulling it down and up to move it. You can make it bigger by taking one of the dots and moving it up and down. If you want to move it, you put your cursor over the middle of it and you can move it. So you've got some, and then even if you want to make the feather different, you can take the inside line and move that, or you can move the feather over here. But I don't want to do anything with that. So now if I go to, let's see, I'm not good at this part. Oh, let's get it out of here.
Joni, this is classic, right?
Yes, you can do all this stuff in cloud though too. If I go to before, this is how we started. I mean, it didn't make a huge difference, but I think he pops a little bit. Yeah, even I might add a little, I'd go back to my mask of the heron. I'm clicking on that. I'm just gonna add a little saturation to him too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
A little better. All right, that was that one.
Okay.
What about this one?
Well,
Oh, this one you didn't like all that.
yeah, the white and then the shadow, and I didn't know what to do with all that white. And then
Well,
I'd like
for a
to-
straight in,
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
well, just to have this pop, I think I could do that, but I wouldn't know how to handle that white area.
Well, this white, if you're just going to use this image straight and not put it in composite or do anything else with backgrounds or anything, this is pretty blown out. You can see the histogram, it's way over here on the right. And if I bring the highlights down, I guess I can. I mean, there's nothing there to bring back really. I mean, you can bring it down so it's not blown out, but there really isn't anything there. If I go all the way down, was it just a gray sky, cloudy sky that day?
I think it was just sunny, yeah.
Oh, it was sunny, pure sun. I'm surprised that because it's not clipping anymore when I bring the highlights down. I'm surprised that it's not coming to a blue sky. I don't in Lightroom, I don't think you can get rid of this white.
Oh,
You'd have to maybe you could go into Photoshop, you could get another sky. I mean, I can see some fringing maybe of some blue here, but you could probably replace sky, do a background like that. But I don't think Lightroom's going to touch that. Now, in terms of the rest of it, I mean, you can certainly probably crop it out,
yeah.
crop most of it out. But I would probably replace that in Lightroom, to be honest with you. But in terms of the rest of this, you need to get the contrast, bring up the shadows, create some texture and clarity again. Maybe make it a little vibrant. I might make it a little warmer even.
Yes, that's good.
I mean, you certainly, contrast is probably the biggest thing that's affecting that.
Right.
But this area here, yeah, you're not going to be able to pull that back.
Way
I would
beyond the
have to
dynamic range.
This is raw,
There you go.
raw.
Okay,
This
so
is a JPEG.
It's JPEG, right?
Yeah, it is JPEG.
so in Photoshop, I'd make a selection here.
Yeah, there's a sky replacement function in Photoshop.
Okay.
And third one, that's a cute picture.
Yeah,
Would
I
you want
like
to-
this, but I love windows, but there's always a problem with them. And then the flower got just, I kind of lost all the detail
Okay.
because of the sunlight.
In this one, I might try to isolate the window part. And we talked about this again, we're doing a mask, and I did the object selection here. I went fast again, sorry. So I went to the masking and
Yeah.
I went to objects and I chose the rectangle, and I'd probably choose this area here and see what it does.
Okay.
And it looks like it chose part of the sky, so I might subtract some of that with a brush. And I can't really tell because the overlay is red, but I would probably try to get rid of them. This is red. Am I subtracting or adding? I'm adding. I didn't want to do that. Add brush. Let's get out of that. I want to subtract brush. I'm just going to take this out. And actually, it looks like I have to add a little there too. I'm just getting a good selection here.
Okay.
Trying to anyway. Now with that selection, now I might try to bring the highlights down and bring the exposure down. So that takes that brightness away. And I might add a mask and do object again and try to do this flower and see if it will just do this flower, and it does. And that I might bring up the contrast, bring down the highlights. Let's see what I can do with that. Maybe bring up the saturation. I'm just trying to make that pop a little. I actually like that, bringing that down a little bit. I like the light though in the room, the way the light's coming in, and it's all side light on this objects here.
Yeah, I already did work on the other areas, but I couldn't The windows are always a problem. See,
Right, and I think these new selections that Lightroom has, I mean, to select object like that and
Yeah.
I can see right here if I zoom in. It's as big as, if I even zoom in more. Boy. I can see that, I mean, I didn't do a good job here, that you'd have to work on that some more, but. Okay,
Okay,
that takes us to 9 o'clock, kids.
Thank you.
all
Did
right.
I miss any
Thank you, Jo.
questions in here?
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, Dick says use for smart collection for print files, absolutely. A print, slideshow, book, all of that stuff. And web.
Also,
So Deb Valley says pareidolia, pareidolia, is that how we pronounce the faces in objects?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
also useful smart collections. I just realized that I have old pictures that I never put it on any tags or any metadata, but I
yeah.
put folders. So, you know, if you want to collect those without going back and adding keywords, you can make a smart collection with just the folder names, and there you go.
So you're saying though, you would have to go, make a smart collection
Yeah.
and,
If you don't have
let's say,
keywords.
give me an example, no, but give me an example of what you want to collect.
So for instance, I have pictures travel or specific city that I went like 10 years ago, and I didn't put any
Yep.
keywords. That is
Right.
that city, but the folder where all the pictures went has the name of that city. So instead of like, okay, I want to look at that city, pictures from that city, but in some cases I do have keywords for that city when I went later, and I was smart enough to put keywords, but all their pictures, they do not have keywords. So rather than going back and add keywords to the old pictures, you can make a smart collection that says, okay, well, if the folder is called pick a city, Rome or whatever, and the keyword is also Rome, that just make a smart collection.
Well, you don't want and, you don't want to say and the keyword is wrong, because then you're just doing keyword. You might want to do any, but not all.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So Rome,
And then you're saying keyword,
Right,
make them both Rome, contains Rome.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have a bunch of folders in a bunch of collections, I mean, excuse me, if you have a bunch of folders of Rome, you went several times, if for whatever reason you have more than one folder called Rome, that would work. But if you just have one folder named Rome and you just want to make a collection of Rome, and you want it to be a smart collection, because if you go back to Rome, you want to add pictures automatically, I would personally do keywords, because that's,
Fred,
I mean,
one
right
way-
now I have a collection called Rome that's not a smart. I mean, Italy, I don't have Rome, but these are not smart collections. These are just collections.
One thing
I'd
you
have
could
to
do,
have,
Fred, you could go to that Rome folder. You just select all the images in that folder and type in the keyword once, and it'll apply them to all the images in the folder.
You're
Right.
absolutely right. But when you have folders and folders and folders with a city, sometimes the laziness in you says, well, you know what, I know there's a folder called with that city name. Just go
no,
back.
you're absolutely right.
that's true. That's true.
It's just a matter of what works best for your workflow. You know, just
I,
thinking
I,
about what do I want my end result to be and how can I get there with my workflow?
Right.
so I add keywords sometimes with the spray can. So you go into the grid and you go through, and anything that might have clouds in it, you use a spray can to put it in there, automatically adds it as a keyword. You could add it to a collection. You could do a bunch of different things.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
So I could
I'm
go to
not
my
kidding you.
all photographs in my catalog, and where's the spray can? Down here somewhere, isn't
It's
it?
over. You just went over it, right? Oh, you missed it. There we go. Right there.
That's a face.
No, the next one. To the
Yeah.
right. To your right.
To the,
That's it.
That's a spray can, A to Z sort.
Wait a minute.
I don't think I have
Oh,
my
you
spray
don't
can
have
in
it turned
there.
on.
I
go over to-
know.
So you go over to the right and it's there's an arrow to the right there and it'll open it up.
Painter.
Yep.
All right, there's the spray can. So I click my spray can and now
And
what
you
do I
can
do?
Put the keyword. So it says keyword
Yeah,
right there. You can change the keyword to any word you want.
sky. Now what?
Just put a criteria in moon.
I put sky.
Okay, sky.
There's
That's
no
fine.
sky there. I don't see the word sky.
I clicked on the paint.
Yep. Keyword.
It's there. It's ghosted out.
Okay.
Okay, sky.
Now just let it
Now
go.
what? I did.
Now go over to your grid system and over to the right where the moon is. Go over
Yeah.
to the moon. See the paintbrush?
Yeah.
Hit the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Just hit one of your keys, your on the, and then you should see it in the keyword selection. Highlight it.
Yeah.
Go highlight it. Go up to the
Highlight.
middle. Okay.
Here.
No. Inside go to the moon and on the outside. No.
Go to the, well, I didn't do the moon. I did this one.
Dock. Okay, that one. Dock your bright. You can
Yeah.
dock it. Put it
I
back
did.
where it belongs. Over there. Put it back. Where it
Oh.
belongs. Okay.
Yeah.
Now go over to where you sprayed it, and you should have
It says
keyword in there.
sky. Yeah, sky.
Now you could do that by holding it down, and let's just say you have 20 of them. You can actually just go and highlight all 20 of them.
Never knew we had that feature.
And you can put them in a smart collection, a collection. You can keyword it. There's a whole bunch of things you can do. If you can go over so anyways, so baby, just a baby.
Yeah. No, and click a whole bunch of, and
Yeah.
as you touch on each of the image with the spray can, it adds the keyword.
Correct.
And you can change this paint. Instead of a keyword, you could do a label, a flag, a rating. You could paint it
Yep.
anyway with that. All of
The
these
target
choices.
collection, and then you can set the target collection, and it'll automatically go into the collection.
Interesting.
Thank you.
I mean, I just use that a lot, but I keyword as I go in, and then
Right.
replace things. Anyways,
Right.
sorry I interrupted, but
It's a good tip.
No, I have never used the spray can, heard of it, didn't really know what it was for, but that, I have to remember that. That was pretty
me
amazing,
too.
especially since I have 29,000 pictures that don't have keywords.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're in a particular folder,
Yeah.
and you want to, you can click all, add, select them all, I
you
assume.
got to be in the grid.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I know that, but you got to be in the grid in order to use it.
Right. So let's say I have these 11 photos that have ducks in them, and I do keyword duck because I don't think I did keywords. All right.
Can you go through that one more time?
Yeah. Let me find something that doesn't have a keyword on it.
I'm sorry, it's past your bedtime.
That's okay.
Because I've never used that either. I mean, I knew it was there. I forgot it was there.
All right. So here I'm in the grid picture. Grid, and these are all Evelyn. So I've got the spray can. I'm going to do keyword. I'm going to say Evelyn.
What an old-fashioned name, huh?
Yeah, I know. Now I've got this. If I highlight a bunch of pictures, is that what you're saying? Just go
across.
So I'm just going to spray across all these pictures of Evelyn here.
You see the white border? How it came up?
Yep.
The ones that had white borders.
That's not Evelyn. How do I take him? I don't want Evelyn in that one. That's not Evelyn. That's Ayla.
Control Z.
Yeah, option, erase. There we go. I did option.
But
So anyway, I've got a bunch of them with it.
Can you highlight the first one and then highlight the last one and just spray?
Yeah,
paint
but
one
not,
of them?
but not all of these have her. So like that one's her.
No, but the ones that have Evelyn, can you begin and end and then just
Yeah,
spray can
probably.
one
I'm
of
sure you.
those?
I'm sure you
Yeah,
can.
at that point, so you could use it. This is just so that you can, have a set of words that you already have. You could just spray.
Let's say like all these have Evelyn right here. So if I go shift here, no, it won't do it. It's when I do shift, it's giving me a recent keyword switch. So it looks like you have to do that.
Yeah, manually.
Yeah,
That's not bad. That's fast.
right. And then I hit done and I go back here and I make a collection set of, like, this one should say Evelyn on it now. It does.
Where's the done? Where's
So where's the collection?
There was a when the spray can's active, let's say there's Evelyn. Oh, I added him. Let's say Ayla. That's Ayla. So I'll put Ayla here. And I do. No, see now. I know. So now there's Ayla. There's two there. There's the done button right here.
Oh, okay.
So now if I go to this picture, it says Ayla Evelyn Flowers. I screwed that up because I did that keyword stuff.
And then to your folder, you'll see Ayla or Evelyn. Smart.
No, if I make a smart collection based on keywords, I'd have that.
You.
Oh, I thought
The
it's
spray can
automatic.
is,
I thought it's automatic.
I don't have a smart collection right now. If I had a smart collection named Evelyn, it would be. If I had a smart collection that said keyword Evelyn, but I don't have a smart collection named that. So create a smart collection, name Evelyn, and I'll put it inside family and friends because I do have a family and friends family and friends, and a keyword contains Evelyn. And I'm not going to use the stars because I don't know if there's stars on all of them or not, and create. And now anytime I have, oh, see, all Evelyn's baby photos are in there. So I have 739 images that are keyworded with Evelyn. So now I probably do want to edit my smart collection and add rating 5 stars, and that'll bring that down quite a bit. Now to 223. Various birthday parties, etc. Cool. The spray can was cute, a cute trick, but now you understand why the keywords, I had to make a smart collection. The keywords are only going to put them in a collection if I've already created a smart collection with that criteria. I might have an Evelyn Kitten, there's a birthday party, Evelyn at Hanson Farm. I have other collections of Evelyn for specific events, but not a smart collection. Those are ones I manually made, and I manually either added them with the B key, made it a target collection and clicked B, or I took a bunch of images and I moved them this way. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, it's 9:15.
Thanks, Joni.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Problem.
Night.
Next week,
Thank
make a
you,
collection,
Joni.
and
Thanks.
next week, make a collection and make a smart collection. And if you feel like sharing in 2 weeks, share them with us.
Thank you.
But just your own homework. Do it for your own self.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joni.
Thanks, Joni.
Joni.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Joni.
Joni.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Everybody be well.
Good night. Thank you.
Night.